found out who it was.
Yeah,
I can always just go
I
back and
was
look at
not
my VIP
awake. I'm
list as
sorry. I
well.
was
No, it's all
asleep.
good.
I was so asleep.
Dude, you popped in early and it popped off later in the night. Speaking about popping off, uh,
Yeah.
team who didn't, EG. Listen.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about them. We talked a lot about Saints winning, and that's the good side of the story. The kind of worrisome, scary side of the story is the lack of a result from EG yet again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's something that has come up a lot, not just within the female scene, but across all of their matches. I believe they went 0-3 on Sunday across their teams. They lost in
Okay.
ECL, they
Okay.
lost in the Cash Cup.
Okay.
I think they went fourth, so they still qualified for Katowice because they had the points
Yeah,
throughout.
I saw that announcement today,
Um,
which is surprising because I really don't follow Tier 1 anymore.
oh, that
But
there's Benny, you would love it. There was so much number crunching going on to determine
I
if
did see those tweets.
that
Yeah.
stuff was so. Oh my goodness, that made me so happy
That
to see.
stuff's
Just
cool. Like, I like that stuff. People are like, "Oh, I hate convoluted formats and all that stuff."
no, that makes so much sense to have a points based system to get people to play games. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And cash cups.
yeah, amazing. And then of course EG Gold lost in towards the finals against Saints to decide who would go to
Yeah.
Katowice. So they went 0-3 on the night of the four teams
Yeah.
they have. And the fourth team
The old
didn't play. The only reason they didn't go 0-4 is because the fourth team could not play. There was not enough competitions.
right. They the old points based system reminds me of Super Gamer Girl Pro. Remember they used to run like a 10-week tournament
I have
series
no
and
idea what
every
you're talking
you
about,
got
Benny.
okay. All right, fair enough. Well, maybe for
I'm
another
so
episode.
sorry. Another
Maybe
episode.
for another episode.
Another
It was an
episode.
online series during 2020. I actually really liked the format. It was basically 10 weeks. Every position pays points,
Yeah.
but obviously if you win, you get more points. But it encourages just signing up week after week after week, and then they would take the top like 4 teams and fly them to land. So like even if you weren't the best team, you could still get there by being consistent. But um yeah, look with EG and we're getting a little bit close to time here, but
Yeah.
with EG this is really disappointing. Like the expectation is that you have to make the land,
Yeah.
and there's definitely been a problem with the team. I believe, remind me if I'm wrong, but I believe Onter used to be their coach, and
He is
now
their
he is
coach.
no.
He is their coach
He's
still.
still their
Alter
coach.
is their coach still. Yeah.
I thought they, okay, I thought he left,
No,
but
that was Infohip from Please Send Box. I think that you're
oh,
thinking
that's
about.
right, that's right, that's right. So something in the system has definitely changed, and it's just not working. There's a confidence crisis, I think, at EG. I think that's the main problem is that now that expectations are weighed upon them, there is a confidence crisis. And something has to give. There is always that one loss where change is like it just brings in change. And I
Yeah.
think unfortunately this might be the loss. I don't want to speculate. I'm not that kind of guy. I am that kind of
You are that kind of
guy. I
guy.
won't.
Do
Yeah,
not deny that.
but I won't. But like you saw, like even the things like the World Cup, right? A team
Yeah,
doesn't perform as well as the World Cup. The coach goes. It's time for changes. Blah blah blah
they
blah blah blah
happen.
blah. This might be that moment. And the one, if I can speak very free, the one that I would recommend is I think you do have to make some personnel changes, but I think the problem is there's too many to make in one go. I don't think you just uproot everything. I think you tinker
You
and then
have
you
to tinker a
adjust.
bit. Yeah.
So I think Jess should go back to in-game leading. Because as
Yeah.
far as I'm aware, I don't think she is the in-game leading because I think she said she wasn't totally confident in it. But then if you look at the results they had when she was in-game leading versus the results they had when she was not in-game leading, it's like night and day. I mean, they
Yeah.
they were taking CLG to overtime. Granted, it was the old lineup where I think it was just after BB got signed, like in,
Yeah. That was sacrifice days when before they had been signed to
right.
EG.
And this is a pug team, and please send help. Before Milk, the veteran player, came in and all that, the plug team that qualified to a LAN
Yeah.
and made fifth, sixth at that LAN, didn't
Yeah.
finish last. So it's like there is definitely potential within her in-game leading skills. She's 100% got to have the confidence to go for it. But I think if you don't want to make just a slap of sweeping changes, you put her back at the in-game leader and then you make two player changes.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think I'm not going to say who they should drop. I'm not going to
No.
do that. That's unfair. That's harsh. But I think that might be the first step. However, I don't know what else the issue is. Like the map pool is. I don't know what it is. Like I don't
It,
know what the map pool
I
is.
think, I mean, I think you hit a nail on the head. If there's a confidence issue there, they need to kind of get that back. Maybe it's
Right.
a maybe I don't want to say this. I really don't. But maybe it is a we've reached the point where we're making money being players. We have to cut back on it a little. Like we're not they're not working as hard. Maybe there's not
I
so much of a
I got the
grind
same
coming with
feeling.
there.
You're not alone.
It's the and I don't want to be that guy saying, oh, you're not working hard enough. Like, I don't know their situation at all. I have no idea what's
Right.
happening. We're
Right.
sitting on the outside looking at the results, and they aren't getting any results that really are going to anywhere. Like,
Right.
they went to Sweden, right? They 6-0'd in their group. They won 2-0 against Valkyries to make it in towards the finals. Or sorry, to make it to the LAN, and they got there and it fell flat. Complete, like, it fell
Right.
flat. There's no other way to say it.
Right.
It fell flat. They lost against HSG, they lost against
Yeah.
CLG Red, and
Don't sugarcoat the Sweetland. It was a horrific
it was bad.
performance.
They
It
won
was
13
awful.
rounds.
Yeah, in 3 maps.
Three
It was
maps,
awful.
13 rounds.
Absolutely awful.
Um
But
so
God,
yeah, you have to look at that and say, what are the issues? Is it
right.
and listen, a lot of it is maybe they have to look inside themselves and figure out, listen, we need to go back to an older system, or something needs to change. You kind of have to Virtus Pro it a bit, where you have that set 5. You got to switch some things around. Like, they switched
Yeah,
Piggy Kiki to Opping instead of Empathy. That looked really good, because now you have
that did
Empathy
look good.
back
Yeah, that's true.
on the rifle, and Piggy Kiki had a lot of really good rounds on the Op.
But empathy's not a bad offer. Like that's
No,
what I'm saying. Like
this is the thing, right?
yeah,
They have the interchangeability. They need to tinker. This is not the time to go set in, like, oh, you were signed because you were the op, or you were signed because you were the IGL. Play around with it a bit. Figure out
I mean,
what's going to work. Make it like, get towards the point where it's better. And if it really becomes into a dire strait, you have to make the changes. You make the
yeah,
changes.
yeah, yeah. You certainly got time to play during the off season to improve.
Yeah,
Like you could look at individual players. Like I look at like I look at. I don't want to point Jess out because God forbid, she's so
you love
sweet.
her.
I do. She's a great player. One of my favorite
You're a
players.
part of the Justice cult. Yeah.
But uh, like I look at who she was as a player, like how she was as a rifler
Yeah.
when she first was in Please Send Help, right? And then I look at like that overtime game, which to me was like the peak when she said
Yeah.
she literally went in a deathmatch server and she said, I'm not disconnecting till I get 1,000 kills.
Yeah.
And there's my one swear for the episode. But and she did that. But then when she played the way she played in that series, she was incredible. They lost that series, but it's like that was a really close series. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? She played some of her best Counter Strike. Now she's kind of slipped back between peak level and when she first started. So it's like where, but like you can point like
How far does the regression go? I think is
but and that's my point. But like I look at other players, but I'm like, and I can still look at her and say she's definitely made an improvement from where she was at the start of the year. She
yeah.
should be very happy with how the year overall turned out. I mean, she came in, she wasn't playing the game competitively. She got signed to an organization. She went to a land. She went to 2 lands. Sorry, finished fifth, sixth at the one. Like that's incredible. Take nothing away from that. But then I look at like the individual skills, some of the other players, and I'm like, where's the improvement on them? I don't know if I can point to that. And I like the idea, yes, like Piggy Kiki looked good on the op, but then like empathy's a really good opper. So maybe you bring in some double op strategies where Kiki's running the alternative op. Maybe you start to recognize some spawn plays, like in Dust 2, like we saw with B4 and Yuger back, not in this last
Yeah.
Masters from Nina, but the one before that when it was a LAN. By the way, I forgot. I thought this previous one 2 weekends ago was a LAN. It was online.
Yeah.
Um, but still, like maybe you bring in something where she plays a secondary role, like definitely, like you said, make changes within the team. Don't change the team members. But it's got to be like
There is a breaking
this.
point.
Yeah,
There will be a
like
breaking point, and once they hit that breaking point, you
now
have to
the
do
jobs
something.
are on the line. Yeah, the jobs are on the line going into the. So that's what I think needs to be the point. So we'll see. It's extremely disappointing given the bar that they set previously in the year. Um, everybody goes through that sophomore phase, man. This is
Yeah.
their sophomore phase. They gotta.
It happens.
Yeah, and some teams are good and players are good enough to get past of it. Some do not. So the next 3 months are going to be the telling months, really.
Yeah.